The government today requested the Union Public Service Commission to withdraw its advertisement for lateral entry into bureaucracy. In fact, in a letter, Dr. Jitendra Singh has said that Prime Minister Narendra Modi believes that the move should be aligned with social justice. Government allies welcomed the move and the opposition allies, in fact, the opposition has claimed victory. Let's listen in to all the reactions that have come in today.
From advertising 45 senior positions for lateral entry into Government of India on the 17th of August to the UPSC withdrawing the advertisement 3 days later, Union Minister Jitendra Singh, who has been in charge of the Department of Personnel, shot off a letter to the UPSC chairperson on the important issue of lateral entry into the Government of India. The minister wrote and said the Prime Minister is of the firm belief that the lateral entry must be aligned with constitutional principles of equity and social justice. He said that deserving candidates from marginalized communities must get rightful representation in government services. The rationale given by the government for the withdrawal is the lateral entry positions are treated as specialized single cadre posts, and so currently there is no provision for quota, forcing a review. The Congress claimed victory and the government hit back, accusing the party of duplicity.
यूपीएससी में लेटरल एंट्री एक बहुत ही ट्रांसपेरेंट मेथड जो लिया था, उसमें रिजर्वेशन के प्रिंसिपल्स लगे, ऐसा निर्णय लिया है। आपने देखा प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने हमेशा सामाजिक न्याय के प्रति अपनी प्रतिबद्धता दिखाई है। हमें ये भी ध्यान रखना चाहिए 2014 से पहले किस तरह से यूपीए की सरकार कांग्रेस के जो निर्णय होते थे उनमें रिजर्वेशन के प्रिंसिपल्स का कोई ध्यान नहीं रखा जाता था।
जो लेटरल एंट्री का एडवर्टाइजमेंट थी, यूपीएससी ने जो विज्ञापन निकाला था उसको वापस लेने के, उसको विड्रॉ करने के निर्देश दिए हैं। हम इसका स्वागत भी करते हैं और प्रधानमंत्री को एक सलाह भी देते हैं कि अब वक्त आ गया है कि देश के मन की बात सुनना शुरू कीजिए, और देश अपने मन की बात विपक्ष के माध्यम से बोलता है, देश अपने मन की बात आपके अलाइज के माध्यम से बोलता है।
LJP and JDU, two NDA allies with socialist roots, have been the most vociferous in opposing the lateral entry bid, one that the government maintained was a transformative move.
कि लेटरल एंट्री में आरक्षण के प्रावधानों का ध्यान नहीं रखा गया है, उस वक्त साथ ही में मैंने इस बात को भी कहा था कि मजबूती से सरकार के समक्ष, मेरे प्रधानमंत्री जी के समक्ष मैं इस बात को रखने का काम करूंगा।
Rahul Gandhi has also termed the lateral entry as an attack on Dalits, OBCs and Adivasis. He positioned the government's rethink as a win for his party's bid to protect reservations and the constitution. Samajwadi Party chief Akhilesh Yadav, with the third largest number in the Lok Sabha, credited the People Democratic Alliance for defeating the government's conspiracy of making appointments through the back door and denying reservation.
The lateral entry debate is the first indication that the changed numbers in the Lok Sabha have a bearing on governance. From an absolute majority, now the government, under pressure from its alliances as well as the opposition, has made Prime Minister Narendra Modi to have a relook at the entire reservation policy, especially for lateral entry, and to ensure that there is equitable justice for them. In New Delhi, Sunil Prabhu, NDTV.
Joining me now on the show is Rajiv Kumar, former Vice Chairman of Niti Aayog. We have Mr. Nayak, who is the Lok Sabha MP of the Congress Party, A.K. Bajpai, Chief Spokesperson of LJP, Sajjan Kumar, Political Analyst, and Ajay Dua, former Secretary, Government of India. I'm going to begin with you, Rajiv Kumar. Of course, many are welcoming it. Many say that there is politics at play. But the fact here is that the larger intent of the government is about, as it has been said in this letter by Dr. Jitendra Singh, that the Prime Minister believes in social justice and equity, and which is enshrined in our constitution. So if anything, this will ensure more inclusivity when the new advertisements are put out.
Yeah, hi Myra, and glad to be here. And I think that's the correct interpretation, which is that the Prime Minister has insisted on both things, I think, which is that there will continue to be lateral entry into the government, as opposed to some people demanding that there should be no lateral entry, because I think that's required to improve the governance capacity. But at the same time, the constitutional provisions will be taken care of as they must be. And I think it's not, is nothing very sort of, either difficult in this or, out of the way. That's the way it works. And even in, I'm just trying to distinguish between the two things, which is that the importance of lateral entry and as it were a revolving door policy where the private sector, the academia, etc., can get into the government on short-term assignments, and the provision of social justice and equity as mandated by the Constitution. The both can be achieved. When I was in Niti Aayog, we had lots of lateral entry, but we always kept in mind, there was always a view, the administration would tell you that there is a quota reservation for those
And
marginalized.
the point that has been made here also in this letter, Mr. Dua, is that pre-2014, the lateral entries were about ad hoc manner. There were cases of alleged favoritism as well. And post-2014, the government has been trying to ensure that there is transparency, openness, and the institutionally driven system is in place.
Yeah, you see, there is a big difference here, which is that all lateral entries after 2014, and to the best, I'm sure about that, have taken place through the UPSC with a very transparent, open selection system. Okay. And prior to that, there have been many cases where people were appointed, if you like, in an ad hoc manner, or in what is sometimes called the person-specific manner, and for which there was no such criteria. Okay. But there are lateral entries in different ways. I mean, you need a very important expert for some particular reason, and that can only be filled by some domain expert, and you'll have to do that.
Okay.
But overall, in the entire sort of spectrum of things, you have to take care that the marginalized communities are equally represented as they should be according to the Constitution.
All right. Rajiv Kumar, thank you so much for joining us on the show. Ajay Dua, the same question to you, sir, that does it actually mean what the opposition is saying? The opposition says that there was the larger conspiracy to do away with reservation. And of course, they are claiming victory.
I don't think so.
Yes, please. Go ahead, sir.
Maria, thank you for having me. I don't think that there is a conspiracy, but the fact of the matter is that this was a large-scale recruitment on for lateral entry of as many as 45 persons in different ranks, joint secretaries, directors, and deputy secretaries. But it has never been done in such large numbers earlier. Though it was for a period of 3 to 5, it's for a period of 3 to 5 years, I think it was necessary, not necessarily legally, because the government seems to have taken care, because it's advertised for each of the 24 ministries where these 45 persons are to be put somewhat separately, and till the number is at least 4 in each ministry, the reservation doesn't kick in, because for OBCs the maximum reservation is for them 27%, then 5% for SCs, 4% for STs, and then for backward class, another 4% adds up to about 40. But for none of the ministries, the number was more than 4. So legally, it may not have kicked in, but I think with such a large amount of people being taken, even on short-term basis, the government should have provided for reservation as per the scheme of things. And today's letter from the minister to the chairperson of the thing, correcting something which could perhaps have been done ab initio.
All right. Let me bring in the politicians now. Mr. Naik, the question here is that, the lateral entry idea actually began during the Congress regime. And this entire narrative, of course, Samvidhan khatre mein, our constitution is in danger, may have yielded political dividends for you. But the larger question is also why, spread misinformation as the government is saying, because, lateral entry is not something that has been done during, post 2014.
Thank you very much for having me here. But however, I take objection to many points that you made just now. As the speaker prior to me was mentioning very correctly, that this has been a large-scale recruitment advertisement. And this is for almost 40 to 50 posts across departments. And you are recruiting officers of the rank of Joint Secretary, Deputy Secretary, and Director. So this is a large-scale recruitment which would have changed the nature of the bureaucracy itself. You can always say that the steel frame of India is being attacked and the constitution is being attacked by not providing reservation. That was the crux of the opposition by the Congress party, and which was supported by all the allies of the India bloc. And there was internal contradiction within the NDA alliance, which has come to the fore. People have objected. It very clearly shows that there is no consultation, not only with the opposition parties or with the people in general. There is no consultation within the government.
I'll ask Mr. Bajpai to respond to that. Mr. Bajpai?
First of all, I welcome the decision taken by the Honorable Prime Minister. I am thankful to Chirag Paswan, who took one step ahead and strongly opposed this decision of the Government of India and immediately approached the Prime Minister. So ultimately, the mandate of the Constitution is prevailing now. But the opposition is trying to just make an allegation against the present government or Narendra Modi ji. Although the system was created by the Congress itself in 1968, long back. 2005, Birappa Moili committee is there who recommended all these things. And they were doing it. And now they say it's our victory. Once you did not follow the constitutional mandate when you were in power, now you are alleging when we have already decided to go with the reservation policy, even in lateral entries. So I don't think the people of this country is going to appreciate all these things. It is a right time, right decision taken by the Prime Minister, which clearly shows the commitment of this government towards the social justice, towards the reservation policies, and all the entire provision of the Constitution of India. And this is not the first time it is happening. When respected Paswan ji was alive, there was an occasion when SC/ST Atrocities Act was diluted by the Supreme Court of India. He immediately approached the Prime Minister. And the same Prime Minister, Narendra Modi ji, immediately restored the position of the Act by bringing a new amendment in the law. So what I say, rumors can be spared by these opposition parties, but the reality is they are completely supporting.
Sajjan, I have just enough time for you. Please go ahead.
Yeah, see, the context is the second Administrative Reform Commission, which was in 2005 during UPA day, chaired by Virappa Moili. Mind it, he was an OBC from South India, Karnataka. The recommendation for lateral entry got a shape, and therein it is clearly mandated that we need experts rather than the generalists who are the civil servant. And since it would be the domain of domain experts, technocrats, scientists, economists, etc., therefore it is categorically mentioned that there won't be any provision of reservation. That was the original mandate. But since our needs are changing and policies are also evolving, so I think this decision, lateral entry, do we need it? Yes, we need, because India's needs are changing. We need domain expert. But do we also bring certain change? Yes. So that is why government decision to roll it back and bring it later, which may be the case with the provision of social justice and equity, is a part of the evolving policies. We need experts rather than the generalist civil servant who do not have the competency. So therefore, I think there is nothing unprecedented. There is nothing kind of thing. It is just a part of the evolving policy as per the need and the feedback.
Policy, perhaps the government recalibrating the lateral entry process. Yes, Mr. Nayak.
Exactly.
30 seconds to you.
It's basically that not only about the reservation, now the transparency aspect would also come. This is an environment of crony capitalism as well as the saffronization of the bureaucracy. Under these circumstances, it is always a suspect that we resort to anything which mandates against what is provided in the Constitution. Don't give the reservation. We don't know how the recruitment is being done. No competitive examinations are conducted the way the UPSC does. All these point to a possible possible recruitment which is non-transparent and opaque.
All right. In fact, the government says that this will ensure transparency. And what happened before 2014 was rather ad hoc. This is the point that is being made by the government here. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Nayak, A.K. Bajpai, Sajjan Kumar and Ajay Dua. Of course, this is a discussion which is bound to continue for the next few days. Thanks so much for watching. We are putting that entire discussion on ndtv.com.